Good morning. Welcome to this week's Member Spotlight. It's Monday morning here in Sydney, and I'm Susie from HerBusiness. I'm the CEO here, and every Monday morning I get the great pleasure to introduce you to one of our incredible HerBusiness Network members. Now, this is one of my favorite things to do every single week. It is also a way that I get to do a Facebook Live every week, something that I have tasked myself to do. And I actually go live more than once a week, but this is kind of a standard, consistent way for us to get in front of you, our ideal client. And so in these member spotlights, not only do you get to hear from another business owner and how she operates her business, perhaps even a little bit of her background, who her ideal client is, but you also get some of her expertise, because we're a community of women business owners with all sorts of strengths. We have women with online businesses and offline businesses. We have women in offline businesses that have now had to go online. And we have product businesses and service-based businesses. And we have women who are collaborating together to grow their business. Now, before we go into today's episode, I do want to let you know, just as we're recording today, we just this morning released lesson 1 of our Grow Your Network, Get New Clients workshop. Now, you don't have to be a HerBusiness Network member to attend this. I'm going to put a link down here below this video for you to go ahead and get your free place. And this is a great way to, whether you work from home alone, it's you and the cat, or whether you have a team of people, it's so important to surround yourself with other clever women business owners as you go about growing your business. So today's member, let's get right to the interview. Firstly, if you've joined us here, please go ahead and say hello. We're here to answer your questions, to acknowledge that you are here wherever you are joining us from. So my guest today is Faye Waterman. She is a member, as I said, of the HerBusiness Network, and she helps business owners build their profile and their brand awareness. And she showcases the person behind the brand. This is such an important skill and a gift that she brings to her clients. And she does this through video, radio, and social media. Let's go ahead and get her on the line. Hello.
Hello, thank you.
It's wonderful to have you here. I'm really, really well. I'm very excited. We've got a workshop running this week. We are opening the doors to the network next week for 3 days. I've got a lot on. So, and I'm thrilled to be here with you at this point in the week. As we kick the week off, as we start to set our intention for what we might do this week, I think talking about bringing more of us to our business, putting our best profile forward is so important for women business owners. So I kind of said a little bit about what you do, but why don't you go ahead and tell us about you and your business?
What do I do? Well, I help business owners to create more visibility and to build credibility in their business, because I find that a lot of business owners, they want to sell their product, but they don't allow that know, like, and trust. They don't allow the development of that rapport, that relationship before they start selling. So I decided that I would create my business around supporting business owners to become known for who they are and what they do and why they do what they do, and a little bit of their background, so that they can, people can get to know them and then want to work with them.
You bring up such an important point, because, and I know from my own experience, it can be really easy to hide behind your products or services or your brand and not really inject you into the business. And sometimes I hear women say, well, if one day I want to sell, I don't want to be, I don't want it to be all about me. But we buy because we have that affinity, that know, like, and trust that you mentioned. And so I think it's such an important skill to develop and a routine to have in your business. Do you find that women tend to be reluctant to put themselves forward?
Absolutely. And so what I do is I sit down and I have a conversation with them. People connect with people. They don't connect with what they sell. So it's important that we get out there who that person is behind the brand, who that person is, the genuineness, their unique qualities, and how, people get to know them a little bit of their background. They don't have to tell their whole story, but they can give them a little bit of an insight as to who they are. And then people have more inclination to want to connect with them.
I think that's so important, and it may not always come easy. I mean, inside of the Her Business Network, we have we talk about showing up. And showing up and speaking up. And I know that sometimes I've been very reluctant to do that. You would go to my website, I wouldn't be anywhere to be seen. There'd be all these pictures of our members and our guest speakers, but I was nowhere. And it has been a very deliberate move to inject more of me and my personality. And I still feel like it's an onion that keep having to peel back the layers and show more and more. So is it an area process like that?
Yes, it is. And, when you create a comfortable environment for someone, a business owner, to sit down and have that conversation, and they don't really know what to expect. And then they finish the conversation and they say, wow, they have some wow moments or aha moments, because when you get to talk to someone and really delve, I suppose, not really deeply, but delve into who they are, there's some realness that comes out in them. And I think that when people are working, it's not all about what you sell. It is about you, the person behind that brand. And bringing that out is really important. And particularly in this day and age where we're online 99% of the time now, because there's places in Australia that are shut down, and there are places in Australia that you can go to work and do the normal thing. But when you're online, you have that opportunity to go global. So there's an opportunity for people to get to know you globally, not just in your little environment, because we tend to become insular instead of expanding and taking off those blinkers, which a lot of us have on. And as you said, Susie, it's like, oh, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be heard. I provide a platform to give business owners a voice, to show up, to dress up, be seen and be heard.
I love it. And tell us, you've said business owners a couple of times, so I'm going to assume business owners are part of your ideal client. And as you know, as a member of the Her Business Network, really identifying who our ideal client is the key to getting more clients and getting more sales. Who would you say, or how would you describe your ideal client?
I'd say my ideal client is someone like me, who was a little bit shy, didn't want to be seen, has the ability to run a business and do the things that need to be done. So anyone, and I'm not going to differentiate between men and women, I do both. A lot of women more so than men, but they're starting their business, or they've been in their business for a few years and nothing's happening, and they need that little bit of, a jolt to take them a little bit further. So I work with them to create that visibility, because they're invisible and they need that visibility and that credibility. So small business owners, just starting out anywhere between a year and 5 years, you can be working on your business for 3, 4, 5 years and still not be getting anywhere. So looking at those businesses so that I can give them an injection into their self-confidence, their self-worth, and show them that they have that uniqueness and that ability to be brilliant at what they do.
I love that. And I hadn't planned on asking you this, but I will, because as someone who's personally an introvert, but I have quite a public profile, what are your thoughts on, can those of us how do you work with those of us who perhaps are either a little more shy or a little more introverted to still be out there without sort of going against our core, against our grain?
What I do is I simply have a conversation. I don't interview anyone. I call it a conversation. And that conversation is just creating that environment which is safe and where it's relaxed, and we sit and we have a conversation. Now, it can be virtual or it can be face-to-face, but at the moment, for me,
not so much your service, but as you work with clients, the ones that are more shy and introverted, tell me there's hope.
Okay. Absolutely hope. I sit and have a conversation, and I create that relaxed atmosphere for people to feel comfortable to have that conversation and talk about themselves, because most people don't want to talk about themselves. There are some people. So just creating that environment where they feel safe and comfortable. I have a radio show where people come in and they talk for 2 hours. I have one guest. They talk for 2 hours and they say, what am I going to talk about? 2 hours is over and they say, oh, that wasn't bad. I want to continue.
That's the sign of a good interviewer. Yeah, that's you adducing that gold from them. Yeah.
Yeah. So I create that environment where they feel comfortable and they don't feel threatened. And that's what it is. They don't feel threatened. It's really important. You know, I want to feel comfortable, so I make them feel comfortable. And it's all about, you know, getting in front of that camera, getting in front, and you don't have to worry about, oh, they're going to talk about this or they're going to talk about that, because I don't do that. I just, as I said, I don't interview, I don't prepare questions. I have a conversation, which is relaxing.
A couple of comments here. Nikki says, great advice, Faye. The know, like, trust, and not spamming the products. Absolutely. Yep. And Selena is echoing my question around introverts, which maybe we'll close that loop off. And I certainly have some ideas for you as well, Selena. So I know you've come to us with 3 pieces of advice that you find yourself giving over and over again to clients that you're going to give to those of us who are watching here today. I'm going to hand over to you.
Okay. I always talk about how to present yourself in front of the camera, and that is in a relaxed way. It's all about breathing and finding an environment that is comfortable. There's no distractions, all those sorts of things. And it's all about our self-talk as well, because we tell ourselves stories that aren't true, and we keep repeating those in our heads. So we have to be aware of the thoughts that we think, because what we think about, we bring about. So it's being conscious of what we're thinking about, and it's showing up. And, you know, even if you're shaking in your boots, it's showing up and doing what is important, and letting people see you, who you are as a person, as an individual. And that's then creating that credibility. It's also creating that visibility for you as well. So people are getting to know, like, and trust you. And I know that you know, like, and trust. And it's one of my very core attributes, I suppose, to develop that know, like, and trust. And what you say, how you say it, the tonality of your voice, it's all about your presentation. It's not just about how you look. You know, not everyone looks perfect or anything like that, but it's about your presentation, being real, not pretending to be something that you're not. Be who you are, that person, so that people can connect with you, because they want to connect with the real person, not the persona of that person. So yeah, that's
great. So that's one tip. Do you have another one for us?
I always say, show up, dress up, be seen and heard. And I think there are a lot of people out there that feel that they don't have a voice, but they want a voice. So practicing, getting in front of the camera, looking at yourself in the mirror, so showing up and dressing up. Your presentation, people look at you and judge you in the first few seconds of when they see you. And if you open your mouth and they listen to you, they'll either switch right off or they will want to hear more of you. So it's all about presentation, taking yourself out of that comfort zone and putting yourself in front of the camera.
One of the things that you talk about is about taking people's unique qualities, things that we might not think are important, and helping us share those qualities. Could you speak to that?
Yes, it's really interesting, because people don't think that they have those unique qualities, those special qualities. And once you start having that conversation with them and bringing it out and asking them the question and really listening to what they're saying or what they're not saying, if they're saying something, always have another question to ask over and above that question to draw out more information and to get them to realize, they have those aha moments, to get them to realize that they do have some unique qualities that someone else doesn't have. And when we're in business, you can be doing the same as somebody else, but they have a unique quality, you have a unique quality, and people will connect with you as opposed to the other person or vice versa. So it depends on the personality.
Yes.
As well.
I love what you're saying. I love what you're saying, because I know, and I've done this myself, we can be really dismissive that, well, there's so many other copywriters, there's so many other health coaches, there's so many other screen printers, there's so many, how I'm not actually that different or unique. But who you are, the experience you bring, your personality, your vibe is going to attract your tribe. But only if you're sharing it, only if you're really peeling back those layers of the onion and showing us who you are. So I love what you're saying there. I want to talk about mindset and self-talk. Where does that play in with our ability and willingness to be seen, to be heard, to be out there and to show up?
Okay, self-talk. It all goes back sometimes to our childhood. And it's our paradigms or our habits that we take from there and take into our adulthood. And sometimes we say, that's our lot in life, so we accept it. But when we become aware of, I've been doing that for a long time and I need to change it. It's a habit that you've been doing. And our conscious mind, we take in all the thoughts. We can accept or reject. Our subconscious mind takes in everything. It can't accept or reject. It just takes it all in. And then a lot of that subconscious mind plays out in our life. And it might not be what we want, or we don't know why it happens. So we have to become aware of how we can change those habits that are not serving us. So our self-talk is what you think about, you bring about. And if you're thinking negative thoughts, you will get negative thoughts. If you think good thoughts, then those thoughts will come. A lot of the time we're talking, and we're talking in our head instead of in our heart. So get out of your head and get into your heart, and, use that intuition that we have, because we have a second brain, which is our gut. And we get that feeling if something's right or not right, and that tells us in our gut. So looking at, our self-talk and changing it, or get help if you can't. If you're not able to change that self-talk, get some professional advice.
How long have you had your business, Faye?
I've been in business on and off different businesses for 40 years.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
This business has morphed out of my radio show. My radio show's been going for 4 years. It's a live-to-air radio show. It's not a podcast. And this business came out of that because I found so many people that I was having conversations with were just suppressing, not really doing the right thing by their business. So I developed a thing called Talking All Things Business, which is who you are, what you do, and why you do what you do. And that brings out the unique qualities in that individual for their business.
Wonderful. Now, I don't have a record of it, so maybe you could type in for me what the radio show is called and where people can have a listen, and I can pass that on. If you just type it in somewhere between our chat, that would be great. And in the meantime, Faye's been a member for just a few months. She joined the last time we opened up the doors to the network, which we're opening up again next week from the 18th to the 20th. And she's been meeting some amazing women in the group, and she has actually joined one of our goals groups, which is one of our peer-to-peer accountability groups. But tell me, so what have been the benefits for you so far of being part of our inner sanctum?
I think some of the women that I've met, there's so many talented women in this world, and within the HerBusiness group there are so many talented women that are sitting back and not putting themselves out there so that they can be seen and heard. But your platform is something that's giving them that opportunity to do such. And but some incredible, talented women I have met. And the goals group's really interesting because, you know, it makes you sit, write, talk to others, find out what their goals are and why they're doing what they're doing and why they've chosen that particular goal. And so it's exciting.
Very, very exciting. Well, we're very happy to have you here. I've just put the name of the show here, Talking All Things Business. Is there a call sign? How do we tune in? Where do we tune in?
That is on my Faye Waterman TV YouTube channel. You can go there and listen to businesses that have already been recorded. There's about 45, 50 up there already.
Great.
And so you can listen to those. I have a podcast which is on SoundCloud, which is called A Conversation with Faye. That's my radio show podcast. And and if
people want to actually work with you, tell us, you know, how do they do that? And what are the products and services that you offer?
They can connect with me, I think, mainly through LinkedIn at the moment because my website's down having some refurbishing done to it. And then you can message me on Facebook. Then my business is overall, I help you build your profile and your brand awareness. I help you showcase the person behind the brand and create more visibility and credibility for you, giving you the confidence to have a voice, to show up, dress up, and be seen and heard. So that's basically what I do.
I was just busy typing. I just wanted to make sure that, Faye's name is quite distinct, and so you will find her on LinkedIn. So I'm just going to type it here so that you can all see it, those of you who are watching live below, because the LinkedIn URL, while it's there, is a little convoluted. But if you just go and find Faye with an E on the end, Waterman, you will be able to find her on LinkedIn. Anything you'd like to say before you go? Thank you so much for being my guest today.
Pleasure. What I'd like to say to any business owner, if you're thinking about starting a business, you're in business and you're finding that you're struggling, get some help, ask people. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because if you don't ask for help, nothing changes. And if you want to get in contact with me to have a conversation, just have a conversation, no strings attached, just connect with me on Facebook or LinkedIn, send me a message, and then we can connect and have that conversation there. And my radio show is on 88.3 Southern FM, and that's Melbourne, but you can listen to live stream it anywhere in the world. It's global. With the internet these days, you can do anything globally. It's not just locally. So
thank you so much for joining me, Faye. It's been wonderful to have you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Bye for now.
Bye. And so Faye talked about you can be global. So Faye's in Victoria, and just before we went live, we were having the conversation about what we did on the weekend, and I, being in Sydney, was able to go out and get my hair color done and, you know, run errands and do those sorts of things. And we were talking about how for so many Australians, right now, you are back at home, working from home. Maybe you always work from home, but now there's different restrictions about what you can do. So whether you are working from home and you didn't used to, or you're working from home, but things are just weird because of what's happening with COVID, here's what I want you to know, is that we are totally here to support you. And what I've seen inside the HerBusiness Network is members are rallying around each other to support each other, to see how can we collaborate, what can we do together. And for those of you who have had traditionally offline businesses, I invite you to take advantage of our online training, anything from creating a podcast to doing webinars, to doing videos, to doing Facebook Lives, to creating new offers. Actually, this month inside of Her Business, like every month, we have a key area of business that we're focusing on. And this month, it's all about your products and your offers. So we're doing hot seats and training, and we've got downloads and worksheets on how do you craft an offer that is compelling. And whether you've had an existing offer that you can just no longer present because the market has changed, your audience has changed, your audience is unable to come to you or access you. We have resources that we're making available to help members really ride out this storm and come out stronger as a result, right? So to recover, to rebuild. And so if you find yourself flailing a little bit because of what's been happening since March, where are we now, August, then I invite you to come closer. Come closer. We have a free group, herbusinessgroup.com. But more than that, we have the Her Business Network. And we seldom open the doors. I think we've opened the doors twice so far this year, but we're opening the doors from the 18th to the 20th of August and inviting in new members to take advantage of our networking, our training, so that you don't feel isolated and so that you can make that pivot, whatever that pivot is for you, inside of your business to grow a more stable, more sustainable business. So if you would like to join us, all you need to do is head on over to herbusinessnetwork.com and request your invitation for when we open the doors next week. So herbusinessnetwork.com. There was something especially that Faye said that I wanted to pull out here, and that is getting out of our head and into our heart and letting people get to know, like, and trust us from that place. And I know that's a scary thing. I know that I've resisted. I know what it looks like to give lots and lots of great information and make myself available, but to be coming from the head. And the more that we can connect with who we are and allow that to be seen, the more permission we give others to do the same. And when we're talking about that show up move, which is one of our core moves inside of the Her Business Network, what our goal is every day is to create a really supportive environment where women can show up with warts and all, right? Because while we'd love our businesses to be working all the time, things happen. And, you know, I remember when I had opened an office in the USA, not for this business, for my previous business. And one of our very first tours, we were an events company and we were touring the country, representing an author named Robert Kiyosaki. We were running his events. And just weeks before one of our main national tours, 9/11 hit. All of a sudden, all the foreseeable income would just disappear. And we were in a mad panic about what do we do? It's costing us a ton to open up this business because the dollar was 48 cents to the US dollar. We didn't have a lot of contacts. We were just building this business. We had commitments to venues and audiovisual and marketing and money we'd already spent. And we had to sort of regather and come up with a new plan, just like a lot of you right now are having to rethink, well, what is my new plan? And so I had been there. And then 2007 happened and the global financial crisis. Or maybe in the first year of business when we found ourselves in a $50,000 hole because we made a mistake in one of our big events that we were going to run. We just got it totally wrong and we didn't sell the amount of seats we needed to. So I've been on this up and down roller coaster a few times. And so I learned a lot from that. And so anything I can do to support you to recover, to rebuild, to come out stronger, I'm here for you. And I want to let you know that. So I work closely with the women in the Her Business Network. We're connected on a daily basis inside of our private Facebook group. Every month we give you networking and collaboration opportunities, and we have a library of training. And as I said, right now, we are focusing on creating our offers. And women are creating memberships, podcasts, webinars, courses, different promotional offers. They're growing their audiences. They're creating lead magnets. They're hiring CEOs. They're hiring general managers, those who are in the bigger businesses, or they're hiring their first virtual assistant or someone to get them out of the weeds. So come closer. Join us at the Her Business Network. As I said, you can get your invitation purely by heading over to herbusinessnetwork.com. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Faye Waterman. Please go ahead and look her up on LinkedIn and check out the radio show because we want to know you better. We want to know you better, and she can help you with that. So thank you so much. Have a great week. Bye for now.